Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for November 2022. We're going to jump right in here, Leo. And in your past position, you have this full moon in Gemini, which says the answers you need are coming. You also have this new moon in Pisces, which says meditate and contemplate. I kind of feel that in your first position here that this is kind of where you have been. I feel like you've been in a contemplation zone or a contemplation mode. You've been doing a lot of thinking in the past. We're talking about you even have the Six of Cups here, and the thing about the Six of Cups is that to me it doesn't represent an ex coming back. I know to a lot of people it does, but if you read books, old tarot books about it, it says do not go back to the past. But the thing about it is a card of innocence and nostalgia. It is a card of thinking about the past. So again, it's funny that in your past position, it seems to me like you are doing a lot of thinking about the past, or about kind of like, it's almost like you're wishing that you could change things, which I think is, pretty much everybody wishes that, right? It's like the whole if I knew then what I know now type of syndrome that I'm getting here. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I just think, because again, I think we all do it. I think we all kind of say like, oh, if I just knew this, that, and the other thing, I'd be, I would have bought Bitcoin at a penny, right? So totally get it, Leo. But I kind of feel that this is saying that you need to start paying attention to these things in the future. It's kind of funny because I feel like this Gemini, full moon in Gemini, it's saying the answers you need. But it's almost like saying, hey, history is about to repeat itself. That's what is popping to my head. And I don't mean this in a bad way. I mean this in a good way. It's not like you're going back to the past. That's not what I'm suggesting here. Like, I'm not saying history is repeating itself as in an ex is coming back. You're going to do it again. I feel like there's a bunch of stuff coming in for you here. And I would encourage you to, pay attention to past cycles, right? Let's put it that way. Maybe there's certain things that you've noticed throughout your history, and this could be financial, could be in love, could be in business, but I feel like you're really seeing all these signs and symbols, and this reading is just screaming to me like, hey, you can be the Empress, you can have an extremely abundant life and pretty much everything you want in life, but you need to realize that things are about to repeat. You have the Temperance card, the Two of Wands, and the Six of Cups in this first position. It's funny that you have the Six of Cups to the Death card to the Four of Cups. Six of Cups to me can be a gift from the universe, and I always say the gift we receive is a turnaround, meaning that we can overcome obstacles that maybe we weren't able to overcome in the past, or we can overcome certain situations that we weren't able to overcome in the past. And then you have the Death card, which is like a change. The thing with the Death card is that sometimes we have to look at things from a different perspective. And the reason I say that is because there's a child right here. We're actually going to skip ahead because I feel that this is super important for you, Leo. You see this child right here holding up flowers to the Death Rider. That child is the only person on the card who is not afraid of change. So I feel for some of you that this is basically saying, it's funny that you have that Four of Cups where, it's going to that card, which the Four of Cups is like contemplation and apathy. It's like not accepting something into your life. So I feel like there is a situation coming in for you. Again, it's like history repeating itself, but your perspective is kind of, I wouldn't say it needs to change, because again, I don't think tarot should tell you what to do, as I always say, but what I would say is I think your perspective, I would just like give something a little bit of time to marinate. Let's put it that way. Like if you're given an offer, maybe you just kind of look at it, see what happens, explore it a little bit. Right next to the Four Cups, you have the Moon, which encourages you to go through the darkness, the mystery part of a situation. Very interesting. You have the Temperance card as well here. Again, Temperance is a card of alchemy and is a card of turning one thing into another. Again, I feel like it's saying that you have wished that you could turn something around or change something. I feel like you're getting your wish here. You have the Two of Wands, which is kind of like taking the lead or taking control and making progress. So I feel like you're making progress on a turnaround. Again, I think what you need to realize is that you're not like going back to something here. So that's not the wish that's being fulfilled here. The wish is that something, I feel multiple things are coming into your life here, but you're going to need to, number one, recognize the opportunity, and you're going to need to be able to, take action on it. But, that's what I'd say there. Yep. With the Temperance card, you have the Tower. The Tower has come up for everyone. So, again, wouldn't surprise me if there was a global Tower moment. I'm getting sick of saying it at this point, but, it is what it is. So there you go. Wouldn't surprise me, right? With the Two of Wands, you have the Ten of Cups, fortune after difficulty, a lot of happiness coming in for you. I like the Ten of Cups. Sometimes I feel that the Ten of Cups says maintain your vision. You know, they normally have the 10 cups above their head, the family that's on the Ten of Cups, and they're kind of like looking up, dancing under this 10-cup rainbow or whatever, right? So sometimes I feel that the card itself says that they're kind of like in the real world. They're still dealing with all the problems and issues of the world, but they're choosing happiness. They're choosing to be happy, and by focusing on something that makes them happy. And that's, you have the sun as well in your next row. So, you know, I kind of have this feeling of really needing to maintain your happiness or to focus on things that bring you joy, abundance, happiness. With the Six of Cups, you have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is like, what are you waiting for? It's kind of like a card of, again, you know, waiting for your ships to come in. Sometimes I feel like it represents your ships coming in, but for you, I kind of feel this need of needing to move forward on something in your life. Next, you have this porcupine spirit. It says, time for a beginner mind. You also, and this is your present position, you also have the canary spirit, which says, sing your own song. I love this canary card. It kind of, again, says, focus on your own joy and happiness. Again, I know I always say this, and people always say, you always say the same thing. I'm like, well, it's like the main thing that we're dealing with right now, pretty much everyone, is that we all need to be our own little star, you know, and you have the sun, which is the biggest star, and it is also your card. So, you know, I feel for a lot of us, it's like, you know, we're not going to be necessarily as successful as we could be if we do what everyone else is doing. And I truly feel there's only one sign that gets that message more than anyone else. Can you guess who it is? It's you, Leo. I feel that the universe really is encouraging you to be unique and to, you know, kind of like do the things that, you know, make your heart glow, that make you happy, especially with that sun card. You have the sun, the death card, and the Five of Wands. It's like you want to make a change here, Leo. And the Five of Wands, there's a little bit of conflict. I don't think this is a bad thing. I feel this is just like, you know, these people, I always say they look young, they're training, they're learning how to fight with the Five of Wands. I feel there are some things that need to be learned. It's like you have this desire to do something. For some of you, I have moving popping into my head. Look at this. I'm just going to show you here. Like if we go like this here, Ace of Pentacles to the moon, it's kind of like you know that there's a new beginning or a big opportunity that exists somewhere else. But maybe it's a little bit of a mystery on how you can get there. And again, intuitively, it's popping into my head as moving for some of you. It's like maybe you want to move, but you don't have the money. Or you want to move, but you don't have a job yet. Or something like that. And what I would say here is that, well, number one, I would take more steps, right? It's like sometimes I feel we think we can't do something, but we actually can. I always tell people, like years ago, I moved to Seattle with my brother. And we like basically didn't have the money to do it, but we did it anyway. And you know what? Funny enough, like pretty much started making the money that I needed to make to be able to live there right away. So, you know, it's like one of those things. I truly believe that when we take the steps, like the universe moves out of the way and allows us to be successful. So I do kind of feel that the universe is saying like, hey, it's time for you to take some steps. And again, you're much more powerful than you realize. You're showing up in a very strong position. You're showing up in the present position as yourself. So, you know, I feel there's a lot of joy and happiness coming in here. You also have the death card, which could also represent a change. So like I said, could be like a move, traveling, you know, any one of those things here. I also feel like you're doing things for the right reasons is popping into my head with that death card. And that's why you're going to be successful. So this is much different than whatever you've experienced in the past. With the sun, what is this? You have the Three of Cups. So Three of Cups can be a celebration or reunion. And again, we talked about this. It's almost like you're kind of, I wouldn't call it second chance, but I do feel this is kind of like a second chance reading or history repeating itself. And I can't get, you have no cards that represent this, but there is a major focus that is popping into my head of you needing to pay attention to cycles. It's like maybe in the past you messed up on a relationship that was actually a good relationship, and it's like your history is repeating itself. Maybe you're meeting a person who's going to be really good for you. It's like saying this is your second chance, right? Same thing in business. It's like maybe you miss out on an opportunity in the past, but you're getting another chance to take advantage of an opportunity that's just as big. The Ace of Pentacles is a big opportunity, and you have that next. With the Death card, you have the Magician. So you attracted this, which is great. I do feel we are in a great time of manifestation, so I would definitely use your powers of manifestation to get what you want here with the Magician. With the Five of Wands, you have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles, like, isn't that funny? Didn't I say you didn't have the money or something like that to move? I feel that for someone out there. It might not be for all of you. And again, I do feel this is saying like, hey, there, number one, start taking the first steps. Number two, I think when you start taking the first steps, you're actually going to get the money. I don't even think you're going to have to, like, let's say you want to move cross country or something like that, or somewhere far away, and it's going to cost a bunch of money. It's like, I think once you start getting things going and get things into motion, everything's just going to fall into place. So, that's what I would say here is I would just I would get moving so that, so that things can, why won't this work? I would get moving so that things can fall into place so that you can kind of, get things moving forward here. I hope that makes sense. Next, in the area of your future, you have this Winds of Change card. It says your surroundings will undergo a transformation. Are you kidding? Or no, your surroundings will undergo a transition. Same thing. And you have this Wolf card. It says beware who you trust. Again, Mars retrograde. I would be careful of, anyone talking negatively about you or anything like that. Pretty much every single sign has also had something about needing to kind of like keep your ideas close to your chest. So if you have any ideas, I'd just be careful who you share them with. But that Winds of Change card, funny that I said moving, because that could definitely be a move card. I do feel that for a lot of you, you could be kind of experimenting with appearance as well, because you have the Queen of Cups. I'm noticing the Queen of Cups and the Empress are standing out to me. The Empress is meant to look like, she's in your next row, but she's meant to look like her clothing is of very high quality. You can see how it kind of goes into the creases of her body. It's meant to represent like very heavy clothing, which kind of represents the quality of the clothing. I don't know, it's popping into my head, but that some of you are focusing on appearance, but maybe not of yourself. You could be focusing on your business's appearance. You could be focusing on the appearance of your resume or anything like that. I feel it's a good time for that. Again, you have the Four of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups here. I feel that this is a big opportunity coming in for you. I wouldn't go around screaming about it, especially with that Wolf card, right? It says beware of who you trust. I would kind of like take your time. I would make sure that you get things all fleshed out before you get too excited, but I do feel this is a big opportunity. Like I said, it's history repeating itself. This is the card where I really felt like history is repeating itself. There's these mountains in the background here. Again, mountains represent achievements, but, obviously you have to climb the mountain. So I do feel you're going to have to put the work in to have this opportunity. You have the Queen of Cups. Some of you could have a water sign coming in for love. I feel like you've had a water sign coming in, like left and right. So, definitely could be true for some of you. Not going to be true for all of you. Could be any sign. I feel like what's most important about this is that, I feel someone could be coming in for you that's going to be like very nurturing, very caring. And, that's just the energy I get here. So it doesn't matter what gender they are. I feel that's what's coming in. You have the Four of Cups as well. It's like things don't look exactly how you want them to look is what I would say. I would be, it's kind of funny how this is popping into my head as well. It's like popping into my head is like really needing to be careful of looking at things, like paying too much attention to signs and symbols and synchronicities and things like that. It's like sometimes I think us spiritual people, right, we get caught up in that where it's like we think we're getting a sign, but are we just reading too much into a situation, right? So, again, trust your intuition, of course, but if you're like reading too much into something, that could be a little bit of a problem. So I wouldn't like go nuts with like the signs and the symbols and stuff like that. But I don't know. That's what's popping into my head there. With the Four of Cups, you have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is a card of boundaries. I would definitely protect any ideas that you have. I do feel like they are kind of protected because Seven of Wands does sometimes suggest like spiritual protection, meaning the universe wants something to work for you. So because of that, then it's going to work. And that's kind of the feeling I get here is that because the universe wants something to work for you, it's going to work really well. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Again, a little bit of analysis paralysis in your reading. I'm pretty sure one of your last readings I did, there was maybe a little bit of overthinking. He's looking at the Seven Pentacles normally that he has on a traditional Seven Pentacles. He's like, do I want to leave this situation? Or, is it really worth it to go somewhere else? Four of Cups is like thinking that the grass is greener on the other side and being disappointed, which again, if history is repeating itself, maybe you are worried because a past situation didn't turn out as good as you thought it would. But I kind of feel this is saying you need to realize that you've learned a lot and you're entering into a situation from a new perspective. So it's not like you're entering into something blind, right? With the Queen of Cups, you have the Nine of Swords. I'd get out of your head. I would stop worrying about things. I think all that matters is that your heart is telling you to do something with the Queen of Cups. She has this cup, and it looks kind of like a trophy, you know? It's like a big cup. And I feel that's all that should matter to you, is that you value something, and that's all that you need to know, is that something is valuable to you. And I'm getting a million things here. For some of you, I definitely feel it's work or business opportunity, and I feel you just feel it feels right, but maybe you can't explain it to the outside world. And this row literally says, doesn't matter. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to explain the temperance tower that you could be creating in your own life. You have the Temperance and Tower card, might not be a bad thing, right? This could just be a transformation or a transition that you're going through, a change that you're making yourself. Maybe the outside world doesn't agree with it, or people, maybe you want to move away from your family, they don't agree with it, but at the same time, it's your life. And I feel that's what this reading is really saying. Next, in your last row for your outcome, sorry, I'm just throwing cards as usual. You have this luck and money card. It says coins on it. You also have this distance and journey card, this ocean card. There you go. Some of you are definitely traveling or moving. And I also feel that your money is increasing. And I also feel that if you're thinking about moving, again, when you get the things moving into motion, that's where the success is going to come. You know, I feel like the universe is saying, okay, well, they're leaving a comfort zone, so here are their rewards. You have the moon, the high priestess, or sorry, the empress, and the Four of Pentacles. I do feel you need to trust your intuition. I also feel, like I said at the beginning of the reading, that there could be like a little bit of a mystery as to like how something is going to work out. But, you know, the moon doesn't say stop. The moon says go straight down this path to the mountains, because again, the mountains represent achievements. Those two pillars on the moon kind of encourage the fool on his journey not to get off his path. They basically say, do not get off your path. Stay the course, right? And I definitely get that feeling for you here that you need to keep moving forward. You have the Empress, so a ton of abundance in your outcome. Love it. I do feel a lot of financial abundance for you, especially, you know, if you're kind of like in work mode. For some of you, I just feel like you're in work mode. You're just like, okay, I'm just going to do the things I need to do to make money, and that's that. And here you go. Here's your money. I feel here's your abundance. I also feel you're very attractive at this time. Again, you could be attracting water. I'm not so sure if it's a good thing or bad thing for you. Take it how it resonates. For some of you, maybe it's a bad thing. Maybe you're sick and tired of water signs like me, right? So maybe you're sick of it, but I don't know. Maybe you're just very attractive to them at this time. And you have the Four of Pentacles as well. Four of Pentacles is like status quo, but I really feel you're trying to change the status quo. I feel like you're trying to mix things up here with that Four of Pentacles energy. Let's look. With the moon, you have the Five of Wands. Is that in the same row? Yes. So you have the Five of Wands up to the Five of Wands here with the moon. A little bit conflicted, but look, how funny is this? That, again, the path to the mountains and then the path to the mountains. I feel like you need to realize that maybe like a mysterious big opportunity that's coming in for you where you're not so sure how you can make it happen. I feel it's going to be like very, very good for you, clearly. And it's going to lead to a lot of abundance. I feel it is as simple as just not giving up on it. With the Empress, you have the Two of Swords here. Like I would push it. There's one of my favorite sayings of all time is that it's better to aim high and miss than it is to aim low and hit. It basically says it's better for you to take your goal and multiply it by 1,000,000 and then get 1,000x than it is to like only do a 1x, right? So I feel that you need to dream big at this time with the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is about leaving a comfort zone. It's kind of like a card of finding a middle ground, but I feel like there is no middle ground sometimes with the Two of Swords. You know, it's a card of mediation, right? Like bringing two sides together, kind of. And I feel like this is saying no. So, I don't know. There you go. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Justice card. See, I feel like this is what you're looking for, number one. Some of you could be attracting a Libra, but I also feel you're looking for something balanced, you know? I wouldn't, like, here's my question to you, Leo, and you don't have to answer it here, right? But if you're, like, what I have popping into my head is if you're in a relationship situation where you're not going to, you know what, this is how I know I'm right, Leo, right here. I'm going to show you, right here, right? 12-12, are you kidding? So I feel that for some of you, it's only going to be for some of you. I feel like you're in an imbalanced situation where maybe you're giving too much. And I'm not even saying you have to leave the relationship, but maybe there needs to be some balance brought back into a relationship. So it's like if you're over giving, maybe you need to let the other person give some more. And again, we're not talking about playing games here. We're talking about just creating balance. If you're not in love, I feel like this is what you want. I feel like you want something that's equally balanced. Why is this so different than the whole reading? Let's see. Queen of Cups could be a water sign coming in for you. Queen of Cups twice right next to each other as well. So there could be love coming in for you, but it's much more balanced. And again, I wouldn't like rush right in and like, love bomb the person. Not that you would, but I wouldn't like, I would make sure you're creating a balance. So there you go. We're going to pull 3 cards now here, Leo. So we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. This is going to be for one question. Feel free to pause the reading if you need time to think of a question. If you don't have a question, that's fine too. I'm going to just put them all together as just like a personalish reading. So if you have a question, pause now because I'm going to start reading the cards right now. You have the King of Cups, the 3 of Wands, and the 8 of Wands. Yes, get moving. Go on the adventure. Yes. Or also, yes, move towards your King of Cups. It's going to lead to very quick success and also expansion. So for those of you that don't have a question, to me, this is saying you need to tap into what your emotions are telling you, which this whole entire reading says that. There's a lot of water in your reading. You literally have that ocean card, new moon in Pisces, plus all the water cards here. I feel for a lot of you that your emotions are telling you to do something. Like they're saying like, hey, upgrade this. I always get upgrade for you for some reason, Leo. It's like, everybody else is like change completely. For you, it's more like keep doing what you're doing in life, but make an upgrade in some way, whatever it is. Could be anything. Could be, upgrading your business. Could be updating your wardrobe or upgrading your wardrobe. Could be, doing pretty much anything. I don't care, but whatever it is, I would do it. It could be tied to your feelings. And again, I know that looks aren't everything, but sometimes like changing your clothes can make you feel completely different. Changing the way you look can make you feel more confident or whatever. I would be looking at doing anything that makes you feel powerful, whatever it is, right? So that's what I would do here with this energy. Something is moving very quickly as well, but what I would say is that every single person has had the 8 of Wands during these readings, which is kind of surprising. Also the Tower, but in the month of November. And so I feel things are kind of maybe happening or picking up speed in November. That could definitely be it. So thank you for being here, Leo. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.